All right, so welcome to this tutorial, and we are going to be looking at polynomial functions. And these are just functions of degree that is higher than what? Higher than 1. And in our case, you're going to have that degree can be 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it could be. But usually they do not usually go beyond 4 or 5 when it comes to asking you these questions that you'll be looking at, or that we will be looking at today. So the first part here, we're looking at long division. Well, if you didn't like long division, then it's going to haunt you again here. But then we are here to help each other, that we are able to understand and know exactly what to do when it comes to dividing polynomials. So if you do not have any idea, don't worry, I'll explain the concepts as we go further. So they're saying use long division to divide each of the following polynomials by the given divisor, and hence write the polynomials in the form fx is equal to qx dx plus rx, where they're telling you that qx is the quotient. In short, when you divide, the answer you're going to get, the part of it there which is definite when you divide, is the quotient. And then you have the divisor, what you've been dividing by, and then you have what? The remainder, which is rx, like that. So let's begin from the first one. So of course, you must remember this cabas pass thing that we're doing. So here you're dividing by x plus 1 for the first one, and this x plus 1 is being divided into x. Okay, somebody has their mic on. So as we said, if you're not asking a question, mute your mic, please. Right. Okay, so now here we have x squared, then plus 3x, then plus 5. So what do you do? When you're dividing here, you divide first. So here you see there's x. So x, you're going to divide it into the x squared. So you divide that, the leading variable, in short. So here, the leading one is x. There, it's x squared. So you divide this x into the x squared. So when you divide what remains there, you only have what? X. Remember your indices, that x squared divided by x, this here, they have the same base. Then you see that is just to the power 1. Then minus 1, you get what? X. I'm not here to explain indices, but I think that had reminded somebody. So we have x here, and then after getting your x, you multiply that x multiplied by everything there. You're going to have that there you get x squared, and there you multiply by 1, you're going to get what? Plus x. Now, you always have to make sure that the place value for each and every number, or each and every variable, is represented. So when you're writing a polynomial function, let's say of degree order 3, you are going to have that you have a to the power, let's say 3, then plus b to the power what? That, and then you have c to the power x, and then plus d. So it's reducing like that. So you always want to make sure everything is what? Represented. The one with the degree 3 to 2 until it's dropping like that. So here it's 2, then the one which follows is 1, then you have a constant. So they are represented there. If not, you'd have to write something like x to the power whatever you want, which you see maybe in one of these examples. I don't know. Maybe you see. I think on this one you see yes. Right. So now we continue. So here we've gotten this answer. Next thing, you subtract. So just those easy things. Subtract. So when you subtract here, what are you going to get? So you subtract the first one here, x squared minus x squared gives you 0. Then 3x minus x gives you just 2x. Okay, is that a question? Right, okay, so not a question. So then we say x into the 2x, there you're gonna remain with what? With 2. Then 2 multiplied by that, you get 2x there. And then, of course, here you're dropping that what? This 5 here, you see that positive 5 that remain, you drop it. I'm sure I remember this well. Then this 2 multiplied by that 2 is gonna give you what? I mean, by that 1 gives you a 2. Then next here again, you subtract. And then you're just going to have that here when you subtract, you get 0. There you subtract, what are you going to get? That's 5 minus 2. That just gives you what? A 3. And you see 3 here, x cannot go into 3. So we're gonna what? End from here. So this is where now we end. Then you see that our quotient, what the answer, in short, we find the qx, there is just what? That is just x plus 2. You can see it. Then what is our divisor? What have we been dividing by here? So we have been dividing by x plus what? Plus 1, which is our divider, plus you add your remainder, which is what we found our remainder here to be 3. So in short, f of x just divides to be this. Okay, I shouldn't have written this here. Okay. So f of x is just going to be equal to this here that you have. Just like that, you'd have used what? A long division in order to find that. So somebody might have missed it. They are going to get it in the next one as we do the next question. Well, if you have any question even on this one from doing, just unmute yourself, feel free, and then you ask. So next we have there that is 6x cubed minus 19x squared, and then you have the plus 16x, then minus 4. Right. So now you divide that x into there, you remain with what? 6x what? 6x squared. Then you multiply there, you're going to have that is 6x cubed. That multiplied by that gives you negative 12x squared. Then easily subtract here, like that. There you get 0. Negative 19 there. So you have negative 19 there, and then you're saying minus this negative 12. So negative by negative is going to give you a positive. And then you have 19, which is negative, then 12. So that's the same as you subtracting 19 from 12 gives you 7, then keeping the sign of the bigger number, which is negative. So you get negative 7 there. So negative 7x squared is what you're going to get. And then again here, you divide that x into there, you get that is going to be negative what? 7x. Then you what? You multiply negative 7x by that. That's going to give you negative 7x squared. Here you're dropping these here, which is the positive what? 16x, like that. Well, that constant, we'll consider it later, of course. That there, you subtract, yeah, you multiply there, you're going to get a positive, that is 14, and then you get what? X there. So here again, you subtract, and then you have there, you get a 0, because negative there gives you positive. They have different signs, they're the same things, they subtract. 16, then you have minus there, minus 14, that just gives you a 2x. And then here, drop that 4, which is there. That x can go into there. Okay, somebody entered and they didn't mute their mic. Right, so mute your mic if you're joining us. Thank you very much. So that is x into there. You remain with 2. So that's going to be a positive 2 here. Then I can say 2 multiplied by the x there, you get 2x. And then 2 multiplied by the negative 2, you get negative 4. Here we just subtract and we get 0, the first one. Then there we also get 0. So here our remainder there is just going to be what? To be 0. So how then do we represent our work? So yet again, we say that our answer is just f of x, our quotient, which we found as x squared minus 6x squared minus x plus 2. Then you have your divisor. What we're dividing by was x minus 2. Then plus our remainder, of course, is 0. So whether we add a plus, minus, whatever, it's just the same. So this here is what is going to be what? Your answer. Right. I think this was clear. Any question as we go on? If you have, feel free and mute yourself, and then you will ask and we'll attend. But well, let's go on to the next one like that. So next you have 2x squared minus 1, then x cubed plus 6x squared minus x. Then we have a plus 3 there. So we have this one which has been given to us like this. So what are we going to do here? Well, things don't really change much. So you have, okay. So here we have this, as you can see, we have the 2x and then you have this versus here. So what are we then going to what are we then going to do? Anyone with an idea first of all before we go on? If you are following what we're doing, somebody will tell me. Oh, so no one is following.
Me. We are going to get that 2x, since 2x squared is minus 1 is a divisor. So we are going to get this 2, which is 2x squared. We divide it into x cubed. So when you divide it, after dividing it, then we're going to get that answer that we're going to put on the top there. Yeah.
All right, so thank you. So when we divide here, what are we going to get? So you see that here you just have x squared over what? Over 2. That's what you get when you divide that into there. So of course you can see from here 3 squared over what? 2x. Oh, you're going to have x there, not x squared. What did I write here? So you get a half of, you get x over 6 like that. X over 2. And then you see that that is from here, there, to x squared. Here you just remain with x over what? Over 2. So x over 2, you multiply by that there, you're going to have, so 2x squared multiplied by what? Multiplied by x over 2. You see here, you just get x what? Cubed. So that's what you get there. Right. Okay. So we need your participation, people. Let's participate. So this here is gonna give you a negative what? This gives us negative x to the power what? To the power 2. Now notice that this is gonna go with that other one there. So, but then we keep it for later. But so this here, when we subtract, so here, what are we gonna get? So going to have that this here gives us 0, but then the place value for the next one is going to also be what? Is also gonna be 0. So that place value there, pardon me, as I said, I have this flu here that is troubling me a bit. But yeah, so what I was saying is that the place value here, let me write it like this. Okay. So here, is that a question?
Yes.
Yes.
I haven't gotten where you have gotten the x over.
Oh, the x over 2? Okay, right. So what we are saying is that you're dividing the leading what is there into whatever number that you're having there. So now in this case, you have 3 there, and you're saying 3 cubed over what? 2x squared. So you see that this here, these go, and you have x over what? Over 2. That's what remains there. And then you multiply, you get that there. You multiply by this one, you're going to get what? X over 2, negative x over 2. But then here I'm getting a place value, because I said I have to have all the place values. That is 0x squared. Then I say minus the what? The x over what? The x over 2 is going to come there. So here when I subtract, I get 0. There, when I subtract, what am I going to get? I'm going to get that this here is going to be negative x. So this gives me negative x squared. Okay, negative x squared, and that there is going to give me positive. So when I do this here, I'm just going to have, this is going to be, this is x. That there is going to be positive. So that is, in short, half. 1 over 2, which is half, then minus 1. Yes, it is negative half. So this here gives you negative x over what? Over 2. That's what you get. So what did I do? So I said x here minus x over what? Over 2. Oh, this is positive because this negative multiplies that, gives you positive. This here. So if you see, if I factor out that x, I just get negative 1 plus half. Negative 1 plus half. that this is negative, so you just get a negative half, then multiplied by the x, which gives you negative x over 2, which is what we've written there. Okay, so now let's continue from there. We see that here when we, okay, so here when we then divide the next one, so we have this 2x into there. What are we going to get? So that is going to give us negative, so that will be negative 2 there goes in just 3 times. So you're going to get 3, then multiply there, you're going to have, that is going to be negative x, then squared, then there you're going to get a positive, like that, positive what? Positive 3. And then you have that this here, you have to what? Subtract. Then there's a place value again, as I said there, that we're going to get that place what? Place value. So this here is going to be, let me write it like this. Okay, so the place value here will be C, like that, whether plus, minus, whichever. It's just 0 in short. And then here when we multiplied, we got positive 3. There I'm going to drop that positive 3 also, such that I'm able to subtract here. This gives me 0. This one here gives me a positive x over 2. That one there just gonna give me a what? Gives me a 0. And so you end up having that your quotient, or our quotient that we got. I hope I did this right. So when you multiply this and that, we just get what? Okay, so 3, we said 3 into there. I mean 2x into this here gave us negative what? Negative 3, yes. Then we multiplied, we got this. We multiplied, we got a positive, right? So this here gives us just a what? A 0. Yes, so we are going to have that's what we want, that's what we get here, and as a half, and then you have that, meaning this is f of x is going to be equal to, that is the answer we got, x over 2 minus 3, and then you just have the what, the remainder there, which we what, which we have gotten to be x over what, or plus x over what. So just pardon me. So here you're going to write the other part, which is, so this is our quotient, then our divisor there, you have 2x squared, then minus 1, then plus x over what? Over 2. Okay, so this is what we get, right? Okay, let's do the next one. So we have this one here next. We have, okay, so we have, that's x squared plus 2x, then plus 3, then x to the power 4. So now we're going to represent the one where x to the power 3 by 0, x to the power 3, and then plus 3x squared, then plus 1. So that's what you're going to do here. Then this here, what is it going to give us? So here, x, 2x into there, you just have x what? Squared. Then the x squared by that gives you x to the power 4. X squared by that is going to be 2x cubed. Then x by that is just going to give you that is plus 3x squared. Next, just subtract, minus, and then you get, there you get 0, there you get negative 2x cubed, and then there you're going to get what? 0 as well. So that's plus 0. Okay, so then you divide this into there, you're going to get negative 2x, like that. And then you multiply, you're going to have that's negative 2x to the power what? To the power 3. And then you multiply by that one, gives you negative 4x squared, multiply there, then you get minus 6x, like that. So this is what you're going to what you're going to get here. Right, so then you subtract yet again. I have not forgotten about this one, don't worry. So this gives us 0. There you get a positive, and that's going to be positive 4x squared. Then this here will give you positive, also positive 6x. Then there's a plus 1 there, which is that one there. Okay, then I divide again this into that. You're just going to get that with plus 4. And then I multiply that to be 4x squared. 4 by the 2, that's going to give me plus 8x. then 4 by that number there gives me 12. Then I subtract this here. There I get 0. There I get negative 2x. And then there I get negative 11. So f of x is just equal to what is our quotient? We just found x squared minus 2x plus 4. And then we have that our divisor was just x squared plus 2x plus 3. Then our remainder there is negative 2x minus 11. Right, so this is how you just use that long division method here in order to find these solutions here. Do I have any question on how to go about long division? We are all clear? Silence means we've understood or we are all lost. Okay, so there's no question. That means we are clear to go on to what? To the next question. So the next question then requires us to use what? Synthetic division. So this is the easier version or just the easier way of what? Of you finding what? Finding or dividing what? These polynomials. So if they've given you what to divide by there, what you do is you just equate that. You say x, the first one, x plus 2 equal to 0. You get x equal to what? Negative 2. So this is what you're dividing by. And what you do, you just say, okay, I'm going to put it there. So negative 2, put your negative 2 there. And then look at the coefficients, the coefficients of your variables and just put them there. So here you see that the coefficient of the x cubed is just 1. The coefficient of that is negative 7. The coefficient of that is negative 4. And the coefficient of that is 28. Then here, you start with this one here. You just drop this one. So 1 comes here because there's 0. You're adding, in short. So this is 1 plus 0 is just going to give you 1. Then 1 multiplied by that negative 2 there gives you what? Negative 2. So negative 2, you write it here as your answer. And then you add these two, you're going to get negative 9. Negative 9 multiplied by that gives you positive 18. Then you add, and that there is going to give you what? Positive 14. Negative 4 plus 18 is 14. Then 14 by negative 2 gives you negative 28. And then here, when you add, you're just going to get that this is going to give you what? 0. Therefore, you have that this P of x is just going to be equal to Q of x there, Q of x, which is, so here Q of Q of x is what you found to be your answer, yes. So what we found to be our answer, or our quotient in short. So our quotient here, it simplifies to, so here this synthetic division reduces by the polynomial by a degree of 1. So it means that this here is going to be x to the power what? 2. Since there that was x to the power what? To the power 3. Then you have minus x, minus 9x, and then you have plus 14. Then the number that you're going always to get at the end there is just the remainder. So in short, in this case, our remainder is 0. So our quotient is x squared minus 9x and then plus 14. Then you have your what? You have your divisor. What we divided by is just the x plus 2. And then you have your remainder, which is 0. So just the same as writing it like that. So this is how you do what you do synthetic division. It's quick, it's fast, and you're able to what? Get your answer just like that. Right. So next. So here next we have, so this is the same here, we put negative 2 because we're dividing by x plus 2. Then there the coefficients are just, so there you have 5, you have negative 6, you have negative 28, and you have 2. So this is what you're dividing by. And then here you add 5 plus 0 gives you 5. 5 multiplied by that gives you negative 10. You add here, you get negative 16. Then you what? You're going to multiply there, and you're going to get that to be positive what? 32. And then you add there, negative 28 plus 32 just gives us 4. So 4 multiplied by negative 2 gives us negative 8. And then here, when we add, we get negative 10. So we see that this has reduced to that. That there is our what? Is our remainder. The last digit there, the last value you get is always going to be your remainder. So we can write this polynomial P of x in the form that our Q of x, what is our Q of x here, just has simplified to 5x squared minus 16x, then you have plus 4. So there we can write 5x squared minus 16x, then plus 4. Then what we were dividing by, which is x plus 2, and then plus our remainder, which is in our case 10, negative 10. So they are right negative what? 10. Okay, just like that, you would have what? Gotten your answer there. Right, so next we have that one there. So here we make sure we do all the questions that we are able to get through them. Then we have this here, which is we're dividing, that is x minus 3 by x minus 3, that polynomial. So I equate this to 0, then I say x is equal to what? To 3, just like that. And then I put them here. So I'm going to have 3 there, the leading coefficient 1, negative 10 there. What follows next is negative what? 31. Then you have what? Negative 30. So in just a case that the value that you are dividing by is not there, for example, if we didn't have negative 10 here, if we had a polynomial of the form, if we had a polynomial that is, let's say we had x cubed, then minus 30 minus 3x, then minus 30. So here we could have just said the place value there, we would have put what? 0, like that, because we do not have it. So you always make sure you put it there, do not remove it. So here when you add, you get 1. There you multiply, you just get 3. Here you add, you're gonna get that to be negative 7. Negative 7 multiplied by the 3 there, that there is gonna give us negative 21. You add here, you get negative 52, because there that's 2, that's 5. You multiply that by there, you get negative 156. Then here, when you add, you get negative 180, what? 186. So this is what we get. And of course, we're going to write it in the form. Now, you understand how we write it in that form. So this here, we're just going to have that this is just going to be P of x is equal to your Q, your quotient here is just gonna be, that is looking at those there, you have x that has reduced to the power 2 minus 7x minus 52, and then you have your divisor, that which is x minus 3, and then plus your remainder, which is negative 186. Okay, nice. Next, which is the last one here, we are gonna say we have okay, so here we have x to the power 3 plus x squared minus 21, and then x minus 10. Then I'm dividing by that, so that is 2x plus 1 equates to 0. Then you're going to have that this is going to be 2 negative 1 x there, divided by 2, divided by 2, x is equal to negative half. So in short, dividing by negative half. So negative half, 6, 1, negative 21, negative 10. There I add, I get 6. So 6 multiplied by half, you just get 3. So this gives us negative 3. I add here, I'm gonna get negative 2. I multiply there, I'm gonna get positive what? Positive 1. So there just gives me positive 1, which is, I'm going to write there. And then here, when I do the math there, I just have to get that this here is going to give me, oh, hope I did that right. So here 0, you get 6, 6 there, you get negative 3. Here you add, you're going to get negative 2, negative 2 there, you get 1. Yeah, you get 1. And then here when we add, we get 20. 20 multiplied by that gives us negative 10. Then when we add here, we're going to get that this here is just going to give us that remainder. Here you're going to get, that gives you, when you add the 2, you get negative what? 20. So this here is going to be that this is 6x. So in short, okay, let me write it well. In short here, we are going to have that this is our P of x is just equal to 6x squared minus 2x plus 20. Then I close. Then we say I'm dividing by what? 2x plus 1, then plus our remainder, which is just minus 20. All right, do I have any questions here? Okay, so I guess everything is clear. Let's just look at yes.
Can you repeat the last question there? I didn't understand.
Right. So what I said is when you have this part here, that is whatever you're dividing by. So when using synthetic division, you say equate whatever you have here to 0, such that you get the value of x that you're dividing by. So this is when we equated, we just found this to be negative half. So we put negative half here. Then you always put the coefficients. So negative 6, 1, negative 21, and the negative 10. These are the numbers you are seeing there. Then here, the first number you put, there's a 0 there. So you add here, you get 6. 6 multiplied by that 1, negative half, you get negative what? 3. And then here negative 3, 1 plus the negative 3 gives you negative 2. Negative 2 multiplied by negative half gives you positive 1. And then here when you add, you're just going to get that this is going to give you what? 20. So 20 multiplied by negative half gives you negative what? 10. Then when you add here, you get negative 20. We've said the last number you get there, that is always your remainder, which is R. Now they want us to write it our answer in that form. So Px is equal to Qx. We've already established from the previous question is the quotient, which is just the answer you found. So now the answer you found here, this what synthetic division gives you is the coefficient of what? Of the simplified by degree 1. So here we've simplified or we've divided this polynomial, we've reduced it by degree 1. So from a cubic function, it becomes a quadratic function. So which is these here numbers you're seeing are the coefficients for that quadratic function. So x minus 2, then the 20 there, and then you see that this is the 6 now I'm writing there, x squared. So you start, since it's reduced from a cubic function to a quadratic function, which is of degree 2, that is, so it will be x squared minus 2x, then plus what? 20. Then here you have 2x plus 1, which is the divisor which you're dividing by. Then minus there. So here you're adding plus the r. But our r is negative 20. So we just add there, you get that negative 20, which is there. So that's how you go about this here.
Well,
Right.
there sound negative 1 plus 1. Is it not supposed to be negative 20?
Negative what?
20.
Where?
Here where is negative 1 plus 1.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. So this here has to be negative 20. So when we multiply this here, meaning we're gonna get this to be positive, and that just gives us 0. Okay, yeah, you're right. So this here gives us 0 like that. So this means that here our remainder is just 0. Okay, so good observation. That means that also you're going to have that this part here has to change. So that's 2x, then minus what? 20 there. Okay, thank you very much for that correction. Right, so to those that are new, so as I said that these other ones were already solved, and we had looked at completing these quadratic functions and all those. You can access them on the website. So if you're new, just easily go to your browser, whatever browser you might be using. I use Chrome. If you use Edge, use Opera, whatever. So go into your account or go into that place there and then type in discrete learning. So you see here discretelearning.com. So when it comes, if you don't have, you can easily sign up and register for an account. But when you go there, so now these lessons that you keep on seeing here that are coming, this live class, it's good today people are able to ask questions. It means people are following. Yeah, but you can also learn at your own time, at your own pace. Our course is here. So whether you're doing 1120, 1100, 1110, you just go into this folder NS Pre-Med Mathematics. You subscribe here. So remember those, you're saying 1110. 1110 is under NS. That's why it's there. So then general mathematics, that's what you have there. And then in this folder here, you see that when you go these topic lessons, and these lessons that we are having, So we're just from looking at polynomial functions. So you see this folder here, it has polynomial functions. Look, you can learn. There's factor, remainder theorem, remainder theorem. They're there. Solving polynomials using the remainder theorem, division of polynomials, long division of polynomials, synthetic division of polynomials, how you find to sketch, even sketching the roots of the equations. Everything is what is there for you here. It's just waiting for you to what? To go and access these lessons here. And also, as you can see, if you go back here a little, we have so I've shown you guys, I think, okay, my network is slowed down a bit. All right, so when it registers, like when you go into that folder, I think you guys had seen, yes, here. So you have this part here. It says what? It says that part there just shows this. Here shows you test papers and exams, tutorial sheets. So the tutorial sheets will be being uploaded there. And then you have this here. So that's where you find all those other things. If you're unable to register, you do not know how to follow, but I've shown you like this how to register, and this course is just going at 100 kwacha. But if you have any challenges, here's my phone number, that is 09 587035568. Do contact me and you sign up. For those that will sign up, you get access to those things there and you have access to more. Yes, that's how it cuts.